go past 101.
Okay.
I'm Kathy Jen from the Levy Senior Center Foundation. Welcome to the second part of our longevity series on type 2 diabetes. Today we're talking about healthy lifestyles. And thank you to AMITA Health for partnering with us to make this program possible. Sam will be moderating today, and so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Thank you, Kathy. First, I'm going to go over some housekeeping items. First, attendees are muted for the duration of the presentation. Questions may be submitted using the Q&A feature in the bottom center of your screen. Please do not use the raise hand or chat feature or attempt to unmute. We will not be able to hear or see you. Additionally, it is not permitted for this presentation to be recorded by attendees. However, it is being recorded and will be available on the Levy Foundation YouTube channel and website. Lastly, this presentation is intended for information purposes only and is not intended to replace individualized care provided by your respective doctors and practitioners. AMITA Health and the Levy Foundation are not liable for the misuse of any information presented today. Now, I would like to introduce you to our speakers. Today, we have Kimberly Claiborne and Jacqueline Carson with us as part of the Healthy Lifestyles team. Kim is a licensed registered pharmacist and has a master's degree in health communications. She also holds a certification as a lifestyle coach from the Association of Diabetes Care and Education Specialists. Jackie is a licensed master diabetes trainer, lifestyle coach for diabetes prevention, and a certified personal trainer and health coach. Together, they have decades worth of knowledge and experience in the areas of health and wellness and diabetes care. Kim and Jackie, I now turn it over to you.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm Jackie, one of the lifestyle coaches that will be actually facilitating the program at the Levy Center. And I want to tell you just a little bit about myself and how I've gotten here. Kind of came about this whole program and the whole aspect of health, I guess, in a non-traditional way. I actually went to school to be an engineer. So as you see now, I'm not practicing engineering, but what I am doing is actually utilizing some of those skills and talents, but I'm applying them to the health area, and specifically right now, diabetes prevention. So hopefully what Kim and I will be able to share with you today is why this program is so important and how it can possibly benefit you or someone in your family. Kim?
Thank you, Jackie. So today we're going to talk about the Healthy Lifestyles program, which is a diabetes prevention program. And like Sam said, this program is brought to you by AMITA Health St. Francis and the Levy Senior Center Foundation. So what is the National Diabetes Prevention Program? We're going to go over what that is, what the program goals are, the program structure, why does the program work, qualifying for the program, and then at the end, Jackie and I are going to ask you, are you ready to go steady? We want you to commit to us. So that means we're going to go steady for 1 year. And then we'll end with some questions. Jackie.
So what is the National Diabetes Program? Kim, could you forward?
Yeah.
Okay. And so the reason why we're here, though, is because we know, not just because of COVID, but just even before COVID, there's more than 1 in 3 individuals who may have what they consider pre-diabetes. Typically, you hear about type 1, you hear about type 2, but pre-diabetes is that one of the other, what we consider a diabetes diagnosis that a lot of people are getting, but then a lot of people don't even know that they have it. So if we're talking about more than 1 in 3, we're talking about over 88 million American adults right now who may have pre-diabetes, and they may not even know exactly, they not even know that they have it. And how they're told and how they find out is when they go and have a fasting blood glucose test done by their physician. And the doctor is looking to see what their A1C numbers are. And typically, if your A1C number is between 5.7 to 6.4, you're in that range to receive the diagnosis of prediabetes. Now, what you will notice, we don't like to say that you are pre-diabetic, because pre-diabetic is not what you are. That is a diagnosis that you may receive. The positive thing is that if you make some lifestyle changes at this point in time, you probably can reduce or not even receive the diagnosis of having type 2 diabetes. And so with that, it is very important now that we start to make some lifestyle changes. And when we say lifestyle changes, we're not asking you to go on some strange, crazy diets or anything like that, but really just trying to look at maybe what you're doing now and make some better decisions about being more physically active, as well as watching the things that you're possibly eating. And then we're here to actually offer some support for that. Yeah.
Sure. So what is the National Diabetes Prevention Program? This program was actually launched in 2010 by the CDC and other national partners. And it is actually a partnership between public and private organizations to help reduce the growing problem of prediabetes along with type 2 diabetes. So like Jackie said, this is a lifestyle change program. And in this program, you definitely will have the opportunity to work with your group, your cohort, in learning the skills and the knowledge that's necessary to prevent or to keep you totally out of being diagnosed with prediabetes. Jackie? Sorry.
And so when we think about this whole program of the DPP program is what we call it, the Diabetes Prevention Program, DPP for short, really what they found out is that if people start to make lifestyle changes, it's not just a matter of you potentially losing weight, but it could also impact some of the conditions that you may actually receive a diagnosis for. And in their particular study, they realized that it was not just one group of individuals, one gender, but everyone who actually participated in the program, specifically really over the age of 60, they found out that their use of them having, or the possibility of having them to even start to take metformin if they would receive the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes was really reduced. And so what they realized is that the cost for diabetes care right now is truly going up. And we can only imagine how much more it's going up now that COVID has actually hit us. And so now everybody is really trying to take some time now to look at how do we reduce that, the healthcare cost that's associated with receiving the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. And this particular program has proven that it can definitely do that for the individuals who are taking the class. Yeah.
So the overall program goals for the Lifestyle Change Program. What we're asking you to do is lose 5 to 7% of your body weight. And that will be by gradually increasing your physical activity by 150 minutes per week. We're also gonna focus on healthy eating, making healthy food choices, again, along with the physical activity, which is gonna get you to the point where you will be losing weight upon the goal that you set for yourself. There's also a component in there where we will discuss stress and healthy coping mechanisms, and how do we get you to the point of your goal, which is your weight loss goal.
So what is the Lifestyle Change Program?
Give me 1 second, Jackie. It looks like this is giving me a little problem.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So the first thing about this is actually an evidence-based lifestyle intervention, which means that this program has been run on several occasions. And there have been a lot of people across the country who have actually run this program, and they pretty much know that there are certain things that they can expect as a result of individuals taking this program or participating in the program. And as a result, it has actually helped to reduce the risk for individuals who are maybe likely to receive a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. And they also realize that it does not take a whole lot of weight. You know, I'm sure you probably heard of many programs where you need at least 20 pounds or 50 pounds in order for you to reach a goal. And it's not to say that that could not be a goal that you may have, but what we're looking at is that from your starting weight, if you lose 5% to 7% of what your starting weight is, that could truly make a world of difference in you not receiving that diagnosis. And then one thing that's exciting about this program too is that we will meet weekly with the intention of there's various topics, approximately about 24 topics that we'll go over within the time span of a year. And with that, that gives us an opportunity to learn how to make some changes slowly, because studies have indicated that when you're making slow changes, you're more likely rather to stick to them, and then you can also hold on to the goals that you have set for yourself. And this also is not working on trying to tell you exactly what you need to do that will be like someone else, but this is also individualized, because what may work for one person may not necessarily work with another person. And having a coach like myself and Kim will be there to help guide you in helping you making some goals, but helping you making some goals that you know that you can reach and they'll definitely be achievable for you. And so there are various strategies that we'll use. And one of them that is the greatest one I would think of is actually having support. You'll have support from us as your coach, but then you'll also have support of the individuals that are in your class, because we're all on this journey together. We'll also try and start to track the foods that we're eating. And then we're also starting to making sure that we're getting more physically active. And I know depending on where you are, it may be a little too cold to be outside. But see, the good thing about it is that we can come up with ideas of things that you may be able to do right in your own home. So if you can, there's some things that you can do in your home that you never thought of. It helps you to get your physical activity. So all of these things is what's going to make this a nice, encompassing lifestyle change program.
Thank you, Jackie. So what the Lifestyle Change Program is not. It is not a HGTV show. It's not a class. It's not a quick fix. It's not a diet. This is a program, as Jackie said, where you will focus on setting goals for yourself. You will also be making healthy food choices or better food choices. And again, physical activity, that is going to be a major component of the program. And we're asking for modest physical activity. That's 150 minutes per week. But, and if you choose to be, set a higher goal for yourself, then we're going to be on board there and encouraging and supporting you through this. Okay, Jackie.
Okay, so what is our role as your coach? So for the whole, and I won't say a whole year, but I'm going to just say 12 months, what we'll be doing is actually facilitating the program. And that means that instead of us standing up trying to tell you that we've got all the answers, that's not our goal. Our goal is to engage you so that we can help you to think through what will be best for you and how you can achieve your goal. Now, we will be taking some actual data, and some of that data is just information so that we can make sure that you're reaching your goal. So that means that you will weigh every week, as well as we may ask you to bring something in that we can just kind of talk about. The other good thing about this is that even though we'll be meeting as a group, you'll also have one-on-one sessions with us. That way, if there's some things that you want to share with us, that you can do that. And all of this is definitely kept in confidence. And with that, that also helps us if we start to notice that maybe you're starting to reach your goal and all of a sudden something happens, we can kind of come back and say, well, has something happened? But the intent is we're here to support. We're also here to celebrate. So once you reach your goal, and maybe your goal is just to start moving more than you may have been moving already, guess what? You've got a cheerleader. You've got a team behind you that's here to encourage you as well as celebrate you. And then, as we know, life happens. When life happens, many times there are challenges that we had not expected. And so therefore, you've got somebody to be there to help you walk through those challenges and try to identify what is it going to take to make sure that you get back on track. So if you notice from this help for the health of it, you've got Mr. Pear, Mr. Apple, and the question is to Mrs. Apple, or used to be Mrs. Apple, is have you been working out? So that also means that other people will start to notice the changes that you're making. They'll probably see a change in your attitude. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to sleep better. Maybe some of the fogginess that you're having will lift. And even potentially if you're having issues with maybe some joint issues, when you start to move and start feeling better, guess what? It's going to be a new you.
Thank you. So the program structure. So this is a CDC recognized program, and the program, as we've been saying, is for 12 months. And you have to complete at least 22 modules. More than likely, we will take you to 26. We find that doing 26 modules, the group begins to kind of come together and start having fun in those last sessions. So we start doing really fun things. So the program actually will meet for once a week for 4 months, which is the first 16 sessions. And then after that, we will go into every other week for the sessions 17 through 20. And then Jackie and I find that the once a month, it doesn't work for groups. The groups start to lose their connection. So we stay with the every other week, and then that will be in the sessions 21 through 26. And then those last sessions, you begin to have fun. We can start doing cooking, maybe do some kind of 3K, you know, as a group, we start to kind of brainstorm and find out some of the things that we like to do. So I want to emphasize though, in the first 4 months, which is the session 1 through 16, is education based. So it's going to be heavy on knowledge, and the CDC purposely structured the program like that so that individuals can really be aware of the process of losing weight and the knowledge behind making the choices to get yourself through this healthy lifestyle program.
And to piggyback on something that Kim said, when we start talking about lifestyle change, people may say, well, why is it 12 months? Why does it take 12 months? Think about other goals that you may have set for yourself. And you may have said, I'm going to do this in 30 days or 60 days. And you started out strong and you was making progress. You could see the progress, but then all of a sudden something happened. And I'll say life happened. And so with that, when we're talking about a person maybe who has been struggling with trying to make some changes and just have not been able to, it may take a little longer than, let's say, those 30 and 60 days. But at least we give ourselves 12 months because it gives us an opportunity to move forward, possibly have a time when we may stagnate, then we get up again and we move forward again. So keep that in mind when you're talking about lifestyle. It's not saying that all of a sudden things, we can like snap our fingers and things will change. So what will you learn during the first half of our program? As Kim said earlier, it's really heavy on the education, but the main focus of what we're talking about is eating healthy without actually giving up all the foods that you may love. So that our purpose is not to tell you what not to eat, but maybe what we can help you to do is figure out how can you add some additional foods that may be healthier, and you may start to lose your desire for those other foods that you've been eating a lot of. Also, when it comes down to physical activity, a lot of times people will say, well, I don't want to go to a gym. We're not asking you to spend any extra money on becoming physically active. Maybe there's a way that we may be able to come up with some television shows that may give you something like a Sit and Be Fit that will actually help you to reach your goal of even trying to get maybe 30 minutes of physical activity. And if 30 minutes is too much in the beginning, guess what? We can start with 10 minutes. The way I look at it, if you're doing 10 minutes more today than you did yesterday, you have already won. You've already succeeded. So we'll be trying to come up with things like that so that in small increments, so that you can see that you can actually achieve the goals. And then we're here to support you in that.
Excellent. That's it, Jackie. It's always about having the body in motion. So get moving. You'll hear that a lot in class. So again, for the first half of the class, we'll also be dealing with stress and how to cope with the challenges that you can encounter during the class. Like Jackie said, life happens. And so we are there to support you through that. And the other thing, life happens, challenges happen, but there's always a way. And so we work together to help you to kind of brainstorm and to motivate you and encourage you through those choices or through those challenges. And we also, like Jackie said, we help you with the healthy food choices. You know, the PowerPoint emphasizes when eating out, but it's also when eating at home, because I am very guilty of eating my emotions. And you will hear me say that I am human, but I know what to do and how to turn back from that. And so we'll work together to get you through that as well. And if you get off track, everybody slips. But again, we are there to support you. And getting off track doesn't mean that there's something wrong. Getting off track just means that, you know, something needs to be tweaked, and we can get you going again.
So in the second half of the program, what will you learn? You know, you're going to take the knowledge that you got from the first half of the program, and you'll be able to actually maintain some of the goals or most of the goals that you may have already set, or actually even start to make new goals. There have been times that we've had people to reach their weight goal within maybe 2 or 3 months. And so for them, you know, it's like, what is new? What's next for me to do? So a lot of that could be, you know, saying now, instead of me just walking every day, maybe now I'm ready to start to say that I want to get prepared to run a 5K. And I've got a group of people that's here to support me. The other thing about our sessions is that, like Kim said earlier, we'll be doing a little bit more. There'll be more activities going on. So maybe, you know, instead of our classes being held in a classroom per se, we may find ourselves outside being physically active, or we may be able to bring someone in and show us some different physical activity things that we could do. But we also will continue to talk about ways to keep you motivated. And for those individuals who actually may achieve their goal during the first 6 months, what could possibly happen? They may get a little demotivated. So what that means is that as a coach here, we're here to help you to figure out, once you've reached a goal, what do you do? Do you stop? Do you continue to go? How do you keep going? How do you find support? You know, does that mean, okay, maybe it's time for me to consider even deciding that I want to become a lifestyle coach so I can help other people. So it's other information that we'll definitely be bringing in, but of course you still have your support from the group, but you also definitely still have your support from the coaches as well.
Thank you, Jackie. So the sessions will meet for an hour. And each session you will weigh in. So we will be taking your weight on a weekly basis. And we do that for data purposes, but we also do that because you have set a goal and we want you to get to that goal. And in order to do that, we have to have something tangible to record. So some people, you know, are not comfortable with taking their weights. You know, we can work through that for sure, but really wanted you to know that weighing in and taking your weight is an essential part of the program. We will also be tracking food and tracking our physical activity. And we will try to get you to the point where you are at the 150 minutes per week. That is what we're asking. But again, the whole process of the physical activity is to get the body moving. So like Jackie said, if you start off at 10, we're going to support you through that 10, but we're going to keep you. We're going to keep you there until you're ready to get to the point where you have increased your physical activity. You will also be doing weekly action plans, which is part of the goal setting as well. And Jackie and I will be responsible for that material, and we will be collecting it.
Yes. So, are you ready to commit? We're here to give you the support that you need. However, we need to know if you're ready to, as we use the term, are you ready to go steady? So now I'm gathering that maybe a number of you may be older or about my age, or, you know, or even younger. And you may have been dating someone once upon a time, and they may say, well, you know what? I want to go steady with you. The young kids probably use something completely different, but that's what that's the term that we use. That's from my term, you know, from my era. And so when you're talking about going steady, that means you've got somebody that's here to support you, that wants to hang out with you, that actually even enjoys hanging out with you. So what we're hoping to do is, on here is our email. as well as the telephone number if you're interested in joining, and we need to know that by April 18th. Because on April 19th, what they're going to do is have someone to take your A1C blood test so that we can get an idea of where you stand on that A1C number. Is it between 5.7 and 6.4? And then from there, then you will actually be contacted by myself or Kim. So the email address is dppstfrancis@gmail.com, or you can always call at 708-434-0456. But just kind of remember, you know, instead of you traveling this journey by yourself, now you may have a team of individuals that's really your support system, and they really want to see you do well, so that they're going to stand by you. And that's what Kim and I are planning to do.
Thank you, Jackie. So there we are. Here's our email, our contact, and our phone number for contact information. Any questions for us?
We do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
The first one says, I'm not overweight, but my A1C is 6. Is there a benefit to me joining this program?
Oh, absolutely. So, so there's 2 points to that. Yes, there is benefit to joining the program. So in order to be diagnosed with prediabetes, you're in the range of 5.7 to 6.4. So that would put you in the range of being actually diagnosed with prediabetes. So the whole point of the program is for lifestyle change and to prevent the diagnosis of prediabetes or actually going into that realm of diabetes. So with an A1C of 6, the program would definitely benefit you for sure, because we would like to see that A1C go below 5.7, which would take you out of that range of being diagnosed with prediabetes.
And one thing we have to say that, you know, we didn't go over, we don't, first of all, I want you guys to know that this program is for adults, and we are looking at the A1C numbers. So those are things that we have to keep in mind. But the one thing, if studies have indicated that if you're within the prediabetes range and you don't make any changes now and continue to do what you're doing now, most likely within 5 years, you probably will receive that diagnosis. So if there's any way that we can change that now, then that's one less thing that you have to worry about.
Okay, thank you for that. Another question is, my prediabetes is partly due to genetics. I am not overweight, and I am a very active adult. I have had some success with intermittent fasting. Do you have other tools and tips that may help me reduce my A1C, which was a 6 and is now 5.9 since I started fasting?
So we know that there are a lot of new eating plans and or diets that are there. But the one thing that CDC has agreed upon, that we make it more of a lifestyle change. Some people may not be able to do intermittent fasting. I have read many studies that does say that intermittent fasting is very good for those who may be actually received the diagnosis of prediabetes, or that they're diabetic, or they have received the diagnosis of diabetes. And so with that said, our focus is to focus on making sure that you are applying the knowledge from a lifestyle change program and not look at saying that you're trying a new diet or eating plan, because then what happens if you decide to change that eating plan? Does, you know, the things that you may have, you know, the goals that you have achieved, will those things go away? Whereas if you can come up with a plan that works for you for your lifestyle, then that means that you can actually continue that lifestyle change or program for a long time. Kim, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right, Jackie. And, you know, intermittent fasting is very popular now. And I think you really hit on it, is that we want to focus on what your goals would be beyond intermittent fasting. So, you know, once that does not become a part of your weight loss, what's going to happen after that?
Thank you. Next question, are the meetings virtual or in person?
Based on where we are now, our meetings will be virtual due to the fact that CDC has not allowed or has given us like the go ahead to offer this in person, but we will start off virtually with the hope that we will be able to go in person. But how soon that will be, only CDC can tell us. So I would hope you would still be able to join us if you're interested in really joining, coming along with us. And we never talked about the cost. The cost is really nothing but 60 minutes of your time during this during this 12 months. So if you could give us 60 minutes once a week, and we said it was about 24 to 26 weeks, that's all it's going to cost you. We're not asking you to buy any new clothes. We're not asking you to spend any extra money. We just want you to show up. If you show up, we promise we'll be there to meet you.
That was the next question that I was going to ask. So if the sessions are in person, will they be held at the Levy Center, and are they during the week?
So right now we would gather the meetings would be the sessions would be held at the Levy Center, and they will be during the week. But right now, since we don't know exactly the date that we'll be starting, we're thinking it will be during the week and not on the weekends, unless there's a number of individuals who would like to participate, but the weekends work better for them. What we try and do with these sessions is that they're small sessions, so no more than maybe 12 to 15 people per session, because that way it gives you an opportunity not to get lost, but it also gives the coach us an opportunity to really get to know you pretty much on a one-on-one basis, which is very critical in making sure that you start the program, finish the program, and achieve the goals that you set.
Okay, great. So just to clarify, if there's a lot of people interested, they can join a group at different times a day that may suit best for their schedule.
Right. So what we'll do is we'll have conversations with leadership to come up with some times that we think would be better for those individuals. And then people will be able to sign up for those particular classes once we get the actual dates together. So right now we know that we'll have the A1Cs, the blood test drawn or tested as of April 19th. And we would gather by the 1st of May. We should have our dates in place. And we'll know exactly how we're going to go from there. But I'm thinking, based on the Levy Center's attendance, we may have 2, 3, maybe even 4 classes going on, but just at different times of the day, and maybe even different days. But know that everybody will still have the same curriculum, and you will have myself or Kim as your coach.
Fantastic. How precise will the food tracking need to be?
Wow, go ahead, Jackie.
No, you go on. I've been talking.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And thank you for that. We like you to be as precise as you are able to be. What happens is that you will be tracking everything that you put in your mouth, because without that, we are not able to get a good idea of what's going on in terms of your food intake. And that's essential to losing weight. So, there is a component where you will be saying, like for breakfast, for instance, I had 2 scrambled eggs and a chicken patty sausage, a cup of, an 8-ounce cup of tea or coffee, something of that nature. But there definitely is preciseness to the food tracking, and we ask you to be as precise as you are able to be. We also, and I forgot to mention this, we also are very, very big on water intake. So we will be asking you, how much water are you drinking throughout the day? And that's also a trackable measure that we use.
And then also think about it this time, maybe when we start the program, you may need to actually start to write down everything that you're eating. But as we're coming to the end of the program, because you pretty much know what you should or what you would like to eat or that's going to help you reach your goals, then you won't have to always track. So look at this as maybe just like the first part of you trying to get started, but we will want you to still continue to track during the program. It's just that we're trying to help you to lay the foundation so that when you're done with the program, you'll be off and running.
And then you also find that tracking, like Jackie's saying, tracking becomes easier. And then once the program is done, it's not really about the tracking, but you're kind of cognizant, like, okay, I just had a cup full of pasta without actually necessarily tracking the pasta.
Great. Another question, if I have an A1C of 6.5, can I still join?
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. I don't like to ever turn anyone away because, just because your number says 6.5, I'm not sure if there's somebody in your circle of influence that you can tell them about the program and then they'll want to come over. So come on and join us.
Okay, the next question is, I'm a pre-diabetic and I take metformin. Can I still join?
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Here's another good question. I will be out of town 2 weeks to a month through May through September and needing to eat out. How should I handle that?
See, that's a very good question.
That's a good question.
That's one of our topics.
Yes.
So we'll talk about how you'll handle that. And so that's a matter of doing some preparation and pre-planning, but you can still eat out. But we'll talk about what to look for on your menu. Do you go and look at the menu prior to you going to your meal? And if it's for your breakfast, what do you look for when you go to the grocery store that may help to keep you full? Very good question. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the last question I think I can actually answer is about the A1C testing date on April 19th. We are waiting for a response from the Levy Center as an approved time and date for that, but it will be the week of April 19th. We just don't have an official approval time and date yet. Those are all the questions that I have seen come through. Kim and Jackie, is there anything else that you'd like to add before we close out?
We'd love to have you. Yeah, go ahead, Jackie. We'd love to have you. We're ready to go steady.
That's right. I will be there with you now. Come on, let's do it.